Stereotypes are kind of bad. I mean, I guess I'm sure there are some out there. I'm sure there are certain people that assume that our students are, you can just drive down the roads and assume our students are probably full of themselves, think highly of themselves.
South is very successful because their academics are out of this world. They are in the top 10 of Kentucky schools, which is fantastic. And I just know that we are really academically focused. Exhibit A, star student. I do really well in school because I have awesome teachers and because they just really focus on helping you do the best that you can.
OC is successful because they have great teachers.
What makes North successful has to be the students. The only reason any school or institution does well or succeeds is because of the people behind it. And here at North we have wonderful students, wonderful faculty, wonderful staff, and all of the faculty and staff work for the students, and all the students work for the faculty and staff. So it creates somewhat of a pyramid that makes North the best it can be.
Constantly surrounded by competition, students strive for academic excellence. When they walk across stage to receive a diploma, success manifests itself in unique ways for each individual student. However, success and its attainment means something different for each student, family, school, county, and state. What makes Oldham County successful, and how do students, so often at the center of attention, define success?
We have great schools because we have great parents and kids.
I think our parents are the most important part of our school district because they're the ones that get us the kids. So then the kids are the second most important part, but I don't want to shortchange our teachers at all because our teachers are challenged by you all every single day to be at their best. And if they're not at their best, they can't stay here and be successful.
For those of you who need hard evidence, these numbers don't lie.
So here's the state report card on the district website, and you can see that Kentucky's proficiency level overall is at 50%, which needs improvement according to the state. And then for Oldham County's report, the overall level is 96% at distinguished.
The scores in Oldham County reflect the mentality of its students. However, success can be achieved elsewhere when the students and teachers dedicate both time and energy.
Awesome teachers here across the board. But you've got them in Louisville, at Iroquois, at Ballard, at Valley, at Fern Creek. The test scores don't always show it because of some of the other issues at work. And what I will often say is, let's take all the North teachers today and let's put them at Iroquois. Let's take all the Iroquois teachers and let's put them at North High. I would submit that you guys might even do better with those Iroquois teachers. And I don't mean that as a slam for North teachers, but they have to be, because of the nature of their work, they have to get really creative. Well, when you have a gathering of people who come to Oldham County and kids like you guys, what's going to happen to the test scores? They're going to go up. And not that our staff isn't great, but that staff at Iroquois High School is great. They're dealing with a different set of circumstances. Kids who have been through different things, kids who sometimes are worried about where the rent's coming from or how little brother's going to get fed that night.
Creativity only goes so far. Within any county, there are stretches of all people, from extremely wealthy to the less fortunate families. Although Oldham County is known for its wealth, it is really only a facade for its true economic variability.
In our community is a little bit different. Oldham County is a much more affluent community than some of the other communities around. And most of the kids in our community, not all, I mean there are certain segments and segments of our community that are that see quite a large amount of poverty, but for the most part, kids who live in our communities have their necessities met.
We also have a young mother in Oldham County who is 36 years old with 9 children. She just had her 9th baby. 7 of them were truant from school. But they really weren't truancy issues. They were living in a hotel in the Grange. 7 children, 2 of the children are with their father in another county. 7 children ranging from newborn to 16, living in one. I mean, if you've ever gone on vacation and you're on the way to Florida or somewhere and you got to stay overnight in Georgia somewhere in the middle of the night, and you know, you got your brother with creepy smelling shoes and you got little brother's friend is with your family, and it's just, who gets sleep that way, right? You're not. Well, imagine living there with 7 or 6 of your siblings and mom and a couple of friends who come by periodically in a motel room. And that happens right here. It happens regularly. We often will go to the motels to check on kids. They're not in school. We want to find them. She has a 16-year-old whom she did not enroll in school this year. Why do you think that is?
What a lot of people don't recognize about Oldham County is that it's not all big houses, designer clothes, and fast cars. There are families that live paycheck to paycheck. There are students whose education is sidelined to help provide for their families. And despite the halo that disguises the criminal acts of students, Oldham County is not as it appears.
Most people obviously never see a courtroom. Most juveniles never see a courtroom, but for those that do, it can be a relatively scary experience. And it should be. I mean, this is not the place for people it's not a place for the normal person to be. The types of crime we've seen have become, they're a lot more serious. Crimes that involve the kids in our community are going to be the mischievous stuff, the fights, and then, unfortunately, a lot of drug use. And that's because, part of that is because of the access to funds. Crimes involving property theft and drug-related crimes that we see now than we did before, than just a few years ago.
It's a very difficult job for you as a student to live up to your parents' expectation.
We don't have many kids who are hungry and their stomach's growling so loud you can't concentrate on your ACT practice test. We have lots of kids like you guys you've got all your college stuff in by the time you're in the 7th grade. And you've applied everywhere by the time you finish the 8th grade and you're ready to go.
You take the parents out of the mix, we don't have anything. You take the kids out of the mix, we don't have what we have now. And you take the teachers out of the mix and we don't have the same thing that we have now.
I once knew your father well.
People stereotype Oldham County as a county of wealth. However, that is not what determines success. The success that follows the Oldham County name embodies the chicken and the egg effect.
I guess a part of him just couldn't return. Forgiveness is a lesson he cursed you to learn. As your guardian, I was instructed well to make sense of God's love in these fires of hell. No, I don't expect you to understand. Just to live what little life your broken heart can. Maybe your light is a seed and the darkness, the dirt. In spite of the uneven odds, beauty lives from the earth.
Are we successful because we are wealthy? Or are we wealthy because we are successful?
From the